What's up, Fin fans? Day 5 training camp. First day without Flaherty. First day with Gug or Goog or Googly Eyes, Dave, whatever you call him. We had live in the live stream yesterday. We were calling him Googly Eyes. If you guys weren't there for the live stream yesterday, it's cool. It's all right. Don't worry about it. You can go check it out. It's a cool 2-hour live stream. I know some of you guys are saying you're not seeing when I go live and stuff like that. If you hit the bell next to the subscribe button, it'll let you know, notify you when I go live, when I post videos like this and all that stuff. But we don't have to speculate anymore because Brian Flores had a press conference before training camp, and we'll jump right into that. And he said, we felt like we needed to make the move. I felt that way. I think I'm always going to do what's in the best interest of the Dolphins. The easy decision would have been to do nothing and hoped it changed. Well, you can't go by that philosophy. You can't sit back and hope, okay, eventually he'll get it. Eventually the offensive line will work. Eventually, because then when it doesn't, it goes on you because you're the head coach. It's kind of like when Ross would keep certain coaches a year too much, or when they wouldn't bring in competition, or when they would keep players and be like, they'll pan out, and they never do. You kind of waste time and you waste possibilities of getting what you need. So I agree with him there. And then he said from a communication standpoint and a fit standpoint, as a team, we felt like we needed to make the move, which essentially, yeah, if you're having a hard time communicating and if you notice that he's just not fitting the scheme, like I said, you're not going to try to keep putting a round peg in a square hole. If it's not fitting, then all right, well, let me go find a square peg to put in the square hole. You know what I'm saying? The thought would Gug would be a better fit, someone he targeted as a coach. So apparently he wanted him from jump, but he took Flaherty first. I guess Gug wasn't. If I remember correctly, because a lot of you guys were saying, and even some beat writers are saying, the firing seems suspect. Why did you hire him and then fire him? If I remember correctly, Dave, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, didn't get fired till after we hired our offensive line coach. If I remember correctly. I might be wrong, so be sure to comment below, let me know if I'm right or wrong. He wasn't fired until we hired our offensive line coach. And then all of a sudden, Flores was probably like, oh, you're available? Can you come and be a consultant at least? And then I bet you it was like, let's see what Flaherty can do. Oh, Flaherty's not working. We're going to put Dave in. He's got a very good staff. Players respect the coach. And I don't think he'll miss a beat when he talks about Dave. He's been with the team from jump. As soon as he got fired, he came to Miami. And he's been with Miami, 2009 to 2011 and 2017. He knows the facility. He knows the owner. He knows all that stuff. From a quarterback standpoint, so he kind of switches to quarterback. He's kind of all over the place. He goes back and forth. But he said from a quarterback standpoint, Fitz is leading the way. He says that, he's producing. He's just, you could see it on the field, which we all know because you guys are hearing it from me. I'm reading it from the beat writers. We all see it and we all hear it. Again, the thing I said it in the live stream yesterday, was Rosen kind of just needs to get out of his own way. He's in his head too much and he's trying not to make mistakes instead of just trying to play football. So yeah, there's that. Sorry. And then he talks about Dwayne Allen and he says he's working to come back as quick as possible, but obviously you don't want to rush it. You don't want him to get injured anymore. But he says the competition is going and it's a good one when it comes to the tight ends because tight ends really have been struggling. He says, I saw him as a better fit with the coaches, a better fit with the whole group and team. We went with his gut when he was talking about, again, back to Flaherty and the whole firing and the changing to Dave. Googly eyes. Let's see if that sticks. We want a tough, smart, physical offensive line. It boils down to hand placement and footwork, communication along the offensive line. That's what we're looking for, which is huge. Foot and hand placement is huge. You don't want to have bad hand placement because then you're just going to get blown by. You don't want to have bad foot placement because you're going to get pushed on your ass. Communication is huge, especially when you see blitzes and you notice blitzes. You notice that the offensive line start pointing at people. If the other guys don't know what the hell you're pointing at, all of a sudden blocks don't get picked up and then all of a sudden you get sacked. So then he talks about the firing. And he says he decided to fire yesterday, but he's been thinking about it for a while. Now, a lot of people like to think, well, you gave the guy 4 practices. You know, that's not fair. Actually, he had OTAs, minicamp, and the 4 training camp practices. So Flores got to see for a while what he's trying to implement, and it wasn't working. And then on why Fitz is leading in the quarterback competition, he's just been more productive. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. He's just more productive. He's just doing more than Rosen. But again, you can't take Rosen and just be like, all right, see you later, because he's still learning. This is his 5th offense. He's 2nd year in 5th offense. Like, give him a minute. But as of right now, yes, Fitz is taking the lead. That's what Flores had to say. Let's jump into some little news and notes, and then we'll go right into play-by-play. First things first, they had pads on again today. 3 practices in a row with pads on. Chase Allen and Clive Wolford are not practicing. All of a sudden, they are injured, which I'm gonna give you a little bit of a spoiler. Kind of happens. Injuries kind of happen today. And then the Miami Dolphins, if you guys remember yesterday, you guys asked me about Kimdichie, the defensive lineman, 1st-round pick that the Cardinals took, that they released. And I said yesterday that I probably wouldn't kick those tires because he was injured and all that stuff. But Dolphins did due diligence on him. But he's recovering from a torn ACL. So it's going to take a hot minute. He won't be ready till September. So if they do decide to go after him and they do decide to do that, it might be like a wait and see type thing. So yeah. And then the offensive line, I just want to let you guys know this. The whole offensive line got completely shook up now that Dave is taking over. Completely shook up. Dieter is now getting early looks at the starting left guard position, which essentially he might benefit from the change. So it's Dieter at life. So it's Tunsil, Dieter, Kilgore, Holden, and Jesse Davis back at right tackle, which people are starting to notice that Chris Reed was with the Jaguars, and that's where Flaherty came from. So Chris Flaherty was putting his dude at starter. And we also noticed it last year with Akeem Spence. He was put in starting position because our defensive line coach last year was from the Lions. So that's something to look into. But the day one with Dave as the offensive line coach is going completely different when it comes to drills. Drills look different. Everything's going different. Kiko Alonso was not spotted at practice today, just to give you a heads up before I get towards the end of the video. He wasn't at practice today. Some type of injury happened and he wasn't at practice today. Inside running drills was Aguavin and Baker were the linebackers. Wilkins and Gachow were the defensive tackles. I think those are our starting defensive tackles, Wilkins and Gachow. And then Harris and Cardine were the defensive ends. So right into play-by-play, one-on-ones, wide receivers, corners. Bobby McCain picks off Josh Rosen. Again, he's got to get out of his head. Offensive line versus defensive line play. So it's one-on-ones. Tunsil beats Cardine. We expected that. Gachow beats Dieter, but Dieter does have a good day today. I'm just going to, again, give you a little spoiler. Kilgore defeats Spence. Wilkins defeats... Wilkins defeats Holden badly. And then Harris and Charles Harris and Jesse Davis tie. Then no one really gets past anyone else. Then wide receiver for defensive backs, wide receiver versus defensive backs, one-on-one. Grant is still very, very fast. Very, very fast. And Ford is having a great camp, and Rowe is struggling. He's struggling. I honestly think that the Dolphins need to look at some of these veteran corners that are out there if they want to help Xavier Howard and that opposing cornerback position, because it's not looking good. And Claiborne is still out there. There's still some corners out there that they can pick up. O'Leary looks like he's the new starting tight end. He's sticking with that. Ginkle replaced Kiko on snaps. Again, they had no idea where he was, and then at the end we find out that he's injured. Inside run, nice double team, Kilgore and Dieter. Baker makes the tackle for a 1-yard run. This is the start of it. The more I'm talking, you'll hear that the offensive line does way better. Dieter, nice job pulling executes block versus linebacker Hanks, already standing out. Dieter, if you guys remember when I did my projection for the offensive line, I had Dieter starting at guard. I like Dieter a lot, and I think he will do well, and we're already starting to see it. They're rotating Holden and Calhoun at the right guard spot. So Dieter seems to be sticking at left guard, but they're rotating the right guard spot with Holden and Calhoun. One of you guys was saying Calhoun is really good, and you guys expect him to make the team. The whole offensive line gets rotated a lot. I will say that. I'll give you guys another spoiler. Fumbled handoff inside. Wilkins recovers the fumble. No one ran to the TNT wall. And then working on a lot of running plays with the interior linemen. They're focusing on that because the last two practices, they could not get in the end zone from the goal line. So then now they're like, all right, well, if you guys are struggling with this, we're going to jam it down your throat because you need to get it. Ginkle with a nice coverage on O'Leary. Quarterback had to check down. I'm liking Ginkle. I'm liking the guys we drafted this year. I really am. Xavier Howard picks off Ruddick during 3 wide receiver, 3 defensive back practice. Essentially, no linemen, no running backs or anything. It's just 3 wide receivers, 3 DBs. Xavier picks off Ruddick. And then someone said it's too early, but best practice by the offensive line yet. And 11 on 11s, Aguavin and Baker at linebackers. Ginkle is at outside linebacker. And then there's a swing pass to Cox, and Baker knocked him off his feet. Baker had a very good day today. It was a good practice. Just to give you guys a heads up, I've been giving you a lot of spoilers, and I apologize, but I can't help it because it was a very good practice today on both sides of the ball. Cardine with a nice tackle for a loss on Drake in the backfield. Beat Tunsil, then a nice run for Drake. Drake is running with the ones, but now, would you consider that negative run on Drake, or would that be Tunsil's fault, being that Tunsil got completely beat by Cardine? And again, I talked about it in the live stream yesterday, but not all negative runs are on the running back. Some are, not all of them. And that's one of them that wasn't on the running back. Fitz with a nice first down throw to Kenny Stills, and then Rosen with the second team offensive line, but starting wide receivers and Balaj. Balaj inside run on first play, then play action, almost intercepted. 2 players couldn't bring it down. Not good. And that was on Rosen. Rosen passed across the middle, super late. Again, I think it's all coming down to him overthinking. His passes are late because he's afraid of throwing interceptions and looking bad, so he's overthinking. He's like, okay, he's open, and then he throws it, and it's just too late. He's not throwing his receivers open. He's waiting for them to get open to throw the ball, and that's why they're late. Again, not saying he's a bad quarterback, not saying he doesn't have promise. I'm not saying I don't want him to succeed. Like I said 1,000 times, I want him to succeed. It would be great if he did, but he needs to get out of his own way. It seems like he's really struggling on it. 7 on his 7s. This is what the defense looks like. We had Rowe and Howard at cornerback. Baker and Aguavin at linebacker. That's understood. Then Jones and McCain at safety with Wiltz back there. So that fills out the secondary. Mika Fitzpatrick wasn't there, but I have some good news with Mika Fitzpatrick. Baker breaks up a beautiful pass from Fitz to Gesicki, popped him good, and Gesicki just couldn't hold on to it. And that's where the Gesicki kind of avoids the physicality of football, because we saw that against the Colts where he fumbled it. Gesicki doesn't like to get hit, and Gesicki doesn't like the physicality of football, and he needs to get by that if he wants to be successful. Hendricks with the sack on Rosen. Hendricks, watch out for this guy. He's going to be good. Ball slips out of Fitz's hand, but no TNT run. He goes to throw it, and it slips out of his hand, but he doesn't run to the wall. Harris moved to left end to not face Tunsil anymore, because Tunsil was destroying his confidence, which I would have kept him there, and I would have been like, if you don't want your confidence to get destroyed anymore, you need to beat Tunsil. Tunsil's the best offensive lineman we got. Tunsil's one of the best left tackles in the league. If you can't get past Tunsil, how do you think you're going to get past these other offensive linemen? Cordine recovers a Drake fumble caused by Mika Fitzpatrick popping him hard, caused the fumble. Drake runs to the TNT wall. Cox with a nice block on McDonald for a short gain. I'm loving. Just a side note, I'm loving the fact that we have a fullback. I'm absolutely loving it. I can't wait. Ruddick with a nice pass to Allen Hearns. Then Balaj left the field accompanied by trainers. That's not. When I read that, I was like, shit. I want to have this. Like, don't get me wrong. We have, Gaskins and we have Walton and we have great running backs. But I want that 1-2 punch of Ballage and Drake. I really do. I'm hoping he's all right. I'm hoping it's just something that he'll be out for a day or two and he'll be back. But that sucked to hear. 11 on 11, hurry up. Corradine with a tackle for a loss on Drake. Then Fitz to Smythe for a 12-yard pass. And then Fitz incomplete. Howard breaks up Parker's pass. And then Fitz with a nice pass to Devontae Parker. Coverage bust on a blitz. It's nice recognition. So essentially the blitz comes in, Fitz picks it up, drops it to Parker, who was left open because there was a blitz. And that feeds into what I was telling you guys yesterday in the live stream, that if we can't get a straight pass rush from our just defensive line and we need to do exotic things to get pressure on the quarterback, that's where blown coverages are going to happen, because then you have to blitz people that should be in coverage and stuff like this. Good quarterbacks, I'm not saying Fitzpatrick is a good quarterback or whatever, but good quarterbacks can recognize it and know, well, he's blitzing me, he'll be open. But again, Flores might disguise one blitz, drop someone back into that coverage, pick. I understand that, but I would prefer to have a straight rush from our defensive line than have to worry about blitzing people. And then Baker sacks Fitz at the goal line. Baker is just having a day today. Rosen with a nice touchdown pass to Jakeem Grant, where only Grant could get it. Nice pass. Shows that Rosen can do it. Again, you see it. You see the flashes. Rosen throws nice passes, and then he throws late passes or interceptions. And you could see he can do it. You could see it. He's got to get out of his own way. Terrell Hanks walks to the locker room with assistants, another injured player. Then at the end of practice, they're running gassers. Got to keep yourself, you got to keep them in condition. I'm hoping a lot of these injuries are just maybe dehydration or something like that. I'm hoping it's not anything big. And, and that is essentially day 5 of training camp. Day 3 in a row with pads on. My top performers, the offensive line, did way better today. But if I had to pick one, it was Dieter. Dieter struggled the first time in like a head-to-head one-on-ones, but when they played as a whole, Dieter did really well, especially pulling, especially all those blocks. Fitz, he forced the fumble, he forced the turnover, he making it to the top 3, and then Jerome Baker. He was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. I'd also put Hendricks in there with the sacks and the fumble recovery. I'd put Wilkins in there also with the fumble recovery. And I put Xavier Howard in there with interception. But my top 3 are the O-line, Fitz, and Baker. They were just all over the place. But be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think of practice? What do you think of what Flores had to say about the reason that Flaherty got fired? How do you guys feel about Ballage getting, going to the locker room? I'm hoping it's not anything, I'm pretty sure he walked on his own. But let me know what you guys think about it. Are you guys worried? Bothers me. It does bother me, I'm not going to lie. But be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to get to one of your guys' comments of the day. This one comes from Matt Underwood. His comment came from not the live stream, but day 4 of training camp. And he says to me, would it be right to assume we will see Rosen a lot during preseason? This is a very good question, because camp battles, right? You kind of want a 50-50 shot, but it feeds into the situation that I'm talking about with Drake Ballage situation, Rashad Jones, and like all these vets. You kind of know what you got already, right? We don't know what we have in Rosen. We kind of know what we got in Fitz. We know what the type of player Fitz is. So I honestly see Rosen getting a lot of playing time in the preseason. Probably not, he'll play the 4th preseason game because we only got 3 quarterbacks. But I honestly see a lot. Preseason week 3 is going to be a 50-50. Whoever wins the quarterback job is going to start the first half, and then whoever is the backup is going to finish the game. Preseason week 1, I see, maybe Fitz doing, or whoever gets the first nod, do a series or 2, and then whoever's the second guy, maybe do another quarter or 2, and then Ruddick finishing the game, and then week 2, I see Rosen getting a lot of playing time. So that's a very good question. That's why I picked it. Very good question. But thank you for that. Thursday is the very first preseason game I think it was the Broncos and the Falcons. I'm not 100%, but it's the Hall of Fame game. I will be live streaming for that game. So Thursday, I think the game starts at like 8. So I'll be live streaming at like 7. I think 7 is, yeah, 7 I'll start live streaming. So Thursday at 7, I'm not showing the game, but I'll be live streaming during the Hall of Fame game. We can talk about football, talk about other things. It'll be really fun. Come hang out. But other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter. Obviously I retweet a ton of things. I also got my Instagram there. Today I'm going to be putting out the Madden video. I'm going to open some packs. That'll be the video today, so be sure to go check out the Bit Boys. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. We're not only going to be playing Madden, so if you subscribe just to see Madden, we play other games. So if you like the other games, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Offensive line did 100 times better with the new coach. Offensive line is performing. Is it because of the new coach, or is it because of Flores being like, you don't produce, you're gone? Could be a combination. It really could be a combination. But give this a thumbs up because this was a great practice. It trended in the right direction. The team bounced back from a horrible practice and a day off. Again, they haven't done this stuff. In OTAs and minicamp, it wasn't as gruesome as training camp. So they might have just, they got to get back into the shape of things. So that day off, they might have gotten some fresh legs and really started to produce. So give a thumbs up for that. Also, if you're watching from DolphinsTalk.com, how you doing? Be sure to check out Dolphins Talk. Got some great things. TD's a part of that now. Got some podcasts, some great writers. Saba's over there. Young Mayo's over there. Be sure to check it out. Hit that subscribe button. As of me recording this right now, I think I'm 29 subscribers away from 6,000. So if you're new to the channel, you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Share the channel. Also, don't forget to, like I said in the beginning, hit the bell. So when I go live and stuff, if you don't see me talking about this, like the days I'm going to go live, you'll get a notification. So be sure to hit that bell. We're almost at 6,000. It blows my mind that I'm almost at 6,000 subs. And that's all because of you guys. And I really, really, really appreciate that. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so, so very much. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's another training camp day. I don't know if they'll be in pads or not, but you get a video from me. Other than that, stay classy and fins up.